What if I told you that in just 30 days, you could fix 90% of your money problems? And no, it's not about cutting out coffee or following some boring budget. The truth is that most personal finance content out there is way too generic. And so in this video, I'm gonna help you solve your specific money problems, not with generic advice that you've probably heard 1,000 times before, but with a personalized blueprint that I call the Money Compass. The Money Compass has 4 simple steps. Together, they'll guide you from financial chaos to clarity, no matter where you're starting from. Each direction in the compass represents a key step in the blueprint. And so let's break it down, starting with step 1, N, which stands for navigate your numbers. Before you can fix your money problems, you need to understand exactly where your money is going, because you can't fix what you can't see. Most people have no idea where their money is going. They just know that they get paid and they spend a little bit here, they spend a little bit there, and before they know it, they're left with close to zero in their bank account before the next paycheck is even here. And so this first step is all about creating awareness. We're not actually going to fix anything yet. We just need to know exactly where your money is going so that we know what to fix. And here's how you'll do that. Take 1 to 2 weeks and track every dollar that you spend. Now, don't worry, I'm not telling you to start a budget. I don't budget and I never have, and I've still managed to get very far ahead financially. What I did though, when I first made the choice to start fixing my money problems, is I bought a really small notebook about this size right here, and I carried it with me everywhere. And every single time I spent money, I wrote it down in this notebook. And don't forget to check your bank and credit card statements for any automatic charges like subscriptions that you may have forgotten about, because you'll want to add those to your notebook as well. Now, you might be thinking, well, why not just use an app to do the tracking for me, Joshua? Well, the problem with using an app is that you can just set it and forget it. You link your bank account to the app, and the app automatically tracks all of your expenses for you in the background. But that's the problem. It's happening in the background. You're not actually engaged. When you have to physically write something down, it forces you to pause, think about what you're spending, and really take it in. This habit is about more than just keeping track of your expenses. It's about creating awareness, because every time you open up this little notebook and you write down one of your expenses, you're creating a moment of awareness about your money. And that kind of awareness is what helps you to spot patterns and leaks that we'll address later in the system. But here's the thing, building awareness isn't just important for your finances, it's also crucial for staying informed about the world around you. The world around us, from the economy to global events, impact everything. The cost of living, interest rates, job markets, you name it. And that's why staying informed is just as important as managing your money. And when it comes to staying informed without all of the noise and bias, I've been turning to Straight Arrow News, who's also the sponsor of today's video. Let's be honest, today's news is often filled with bias, sensationalism, or just plain noise. It can feel impossible at times to figure out what's actually true, and that's where Straight Arrow News comes in. Straight Arrow News delivers fact-based, unbiased reporting. They help you to navigate through the overwhelming amount of biased reporting out there so that you can get a clearer, more objective view of what's happening around the world. And I love their media landscape indicator on every article. This indicator gives you stats on who's reporting and which side of the political spectrum they're on. You can also sort through opinion articles based on political orientation, and their media myths section highlights news stories that other media might have overlooked. Straight Arrow News is also verified by All Sides and Adfantis Media, both of which have rated it as reliable and centered. So if you want more control over the information that you're getting, go to san.com/Joshua to check it out. You can also visit through the link in my description or the pinned comment. It's completely free, and when you visit that link, you're not only supporting me, but you're also supporting a group of journalists that are raising the bar on news and focusing on serving you the truth. So in the first step, you navigated your numbers and tracked your spending. And now it's time for step number 2, E, which stands for establish your goals. This step is about giving yourself a destination. If you don't know where you're going, how will you ever get there? And here's how you would do that. Start by asking yourself a simple question. What's one thing that would make the biggest difference in my life financially right now? Maybe it's saving your first $1,000, or maybe it's paying off a credit card, or maybe it's just getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Whatever it is, pick just one clear, achievable goal that you can work on for the next 30 days. And keep it simple. Big changes start with small wins. For example, when I first decided to fix my money problems, my goal was to save $30,000 for a down payment on a house. But that felt impossible, especially because at the time I wasn't really making a lot of money. So I set a smaller, more manageable goal, save $1,000. Achieving that goal gave me the confidence and momentum to then go on and achieve the much bigger goal of saving $30,000, which I eventually did. And if you're not really sure where to start by looking at your spending tracker. Are there habits or patterns that really stand out to you? For example, perhaps you spend a lot of money on unused subscriptions or dining out. Start with the problems that are causing you the most stress or wasting the most money. By the end of this step though, you should have your goals written down somewhere visible, whether it's in your notebook, on a sticky note, or even taped to your fridge. Seeing your goals every day will help to keep you motivated. So after you've established your goals, now it's time to move on to step 3, S, which stands for spot the leaks. This is where you analyze your spending within your money tracker to identify the leaks that are silently draining your bank account. And trust me, we all have them. Leaks are those little expenses that don't seem like much at first, but add up over time. Think about those subscription services you forgot about, those impulse buys at the store, or dining out more than you realize. Even for myself personally, I recently started tracking my spending again in this little notebook, and I realized that there were 5 subscription services that I was paying for that I didn't even know about. And we're talking about hundreds of dollars per month in wasted money. That's a leak. The main goal of this step though is to identify where you can free up money for the things that actually matter to you. And this isn't about cutting out everything fun or enjoyable about your life. It's about being intentional with your money. If something doesn't add value or align with your goals, it's a leak. And the great news is that once you've spotted a leak, you can fix it. For example, if you're paying for a gym membership that you never use, cancel it. And you should have recorded that gym membership expense in your notebook, which is how you identified it in the first place. And so either highlight or cross out gym membership in your notebook so that you know to go back and cancel it. Another example would be if you're dining out 5 times a week. You would know that because once again, you recorded it in your notebook. And so cut it down to 2 times a week. These small changes can free up hundreds of dollars each month. And that's money that you can redirect toward your goals. By the end of this step though, you'll know exactly where your money is slipping through the cracks and how to stop it. And this is what sets the foundation for the next step. The final and most important step, W, which stands for work the plan. This final step is where everything comes together and you take action on fixing your money problems. And here's how to do it. Start by writing a simple action plan. And you can do this either on a piece of paper or wherever you want. But basically the first step is to take the goals you set earlier in step 2 and the leaks that you spotted in step 3 and create specific steps to address them. For example, let's say that your goal is to save $500 this month. And because you were keeping track of your spending in your little notebook here, you realized that you were spending $150 a month on unused subscriptions and another $200 per month on dining out. And so in this situation, your plan might look like this. Cancel all of those unused subscriptions and cut back on dining out to maybe once per week. And then put all of that saved money into a high yield savings account. Let's say that your goal was something really big, like paying off a $3,000 credit card debt. At first glance, this might seem very overwhelming, if not impossible, especially if money is already tight. But when you break it down into smaller steps, it all becomes much more manageable. And here's how you can work the plan to make it happen. Start by dividing the $3,000 debt into monthly payments that feel manageable. For example, if you wanted to pay off that debt over a 12-month period, that's $250 per month that you would pay toward the credit card. And so now your goal is to free up an extra $250 each month to put toward your credit card debt. And so now that you've established your goal, the next step is to spot the leaks and then figure out how you can cut back. For example, you could cancel unused subscriptions to save an extra $50 per month. Maybe you reduce dining out from weekly to every other week. That's another $100 saved each month. Then you could try getting creative effective by doing things like switching to a more affordable phone plan to save $30 per month. And then cut back on impulse shopping to save another $70 per month. Altogether though, that's $250 that you freed up without having to make big sacrifices, all of which you can put toward paying off your credit card debt within a year, or maybe even faster if you're focused. Now, obviously your plan might look different from this, but the main point is that it is possible if you just break it down into smaller steps. Once your action plan is in place though, commit to it for the next 30 days. And check in with yourself every week. Are you still hitting your goals? If not, try adjusting the action plan a little bit to make it work for you. Maybe you underestimated how much money you spend on groceries, or maybe cutting back on dining out felt too restrictive. That's okay. Just adjust it and be realistic and understand that if you don't cut back on dining out, you might have to cut back in a different area of your spending in order to achieve your goals. At the end of the day, this is your plan. It's flexible. By working your plan and staying consistent though, you'll start to see real progress with your money, maybe for the first time ever. And here's the best part. Once you've gone through this process once, this blueprint, you can repeat it anytime. Whether you want to tackle a new goal or maybe your financial situation has changed, the money compass will always be here to point you in the right direction. So now it's your turn. Start working your plan and let me know in the comments what your first goal is. I'd love to hear about it and cheer you on. Also, if you haven't already dropped a like down below for the video or subscribe to the channel, please do both those things. It would mean the world to me. You're amazing. I believe in you. And as always, I will see you again very soon. Take care.